index notation. So index notation is used to write the product of a number with itself. So we do this in an easy way by using an index. So we can either call it index, exponent, or power. So it's known as all three of those terms. We have other parts of our index notation where we have our base number and then our answer to the index notation after we've used our calculator or our brain is called the basic numeral. So these are all the parts of our index notation that we need to know. So having a look down here at our things to know, indices is the plural of the word index, and it can be used to represent the product of the same factor. The base is the factor in the product, and the index or exponent or power is the number of times the factor, the base number, is repeated. So for example, over here we have the index of 2 to the power of 5. So in expanded form, this would be the base number times 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times by itself 5 times. So the base in this case is our 2, and our index tells us that the 2 is times by itself by 5 times. And then we would solve that, and our answer is a basic numeral of 32. If we have a look at it with algebra, you can see here that our base is x and our index tells us it's times by itself 4 times. So it's x times x times x times x times x. So the parts we need to know is what the base is and what the index is telling us to multiply it by. So let's do a couple of examples here. So complete these following sentences. The exponent, remember, the exponent is, going back up the top here, the power. So just remember throughout this whole booklet, you will either see the word index, exponent, or power for your for all three of those names can be used. So let's have a look here at A. The exponent in 5 to the power of 4. Exponent is going to be your power, so it would be 4. The number for 2 to the power of 4. So the number is going to be your answer. So it would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So the number would be 16. The base in 6 to the power of 2 is going to be the 6. The index in 7 to the power of 5, remembering index is the same as exponent and power, so it would be 5. So we're going to put a 5 there. Okay, so let's look at this example here, writing in expanded form. So write each of the following in expanded form. So for A over here, we've got A is our base, and our power is 3. So it's telling us that A is going to be times by itself 3 times. For the next one, it says xy to the power of 4. So it's telling us that everything in that bracket is multiplied by the power of 4. So it's going to be xy times by xy times by xy times by xy. And C, we've got a few parts here. So we've got a 2. Now there's no power on 2, so it's just 2 times A to the power of 3. So it would be A times A times A. And B to the power of 2. So it would be B times B. So we're just taking that and expanding it. Okay, the next question is asking us to change it back into index form. So let's have a look here. We've got 6 times x times x times x times x. So it's 6. And remember, in algebra, we don't need to put the multiplication sign between the number and the pronumeral. So we'll just put the x there as the base. And how many times do we have an x? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll put our index or our power as a 4. Okay, let's look at B. Oh, we've got 3 over 7 times 3 over 7. So our base is going to be 3 over 7, and that one, there's 2 of those. And then we have 4 over 5 3 times. So we'll put a times there, and we've got 4 over 5, and there's 3 of those. So it's just finding what your base is and then counting how many times it's there. So in this one here, we've got an 8 there and an 8 there. So we'll put 8 with a little 2 because there's 2 of them. How many A's do we have? There's 1, 2, 3 A's. And how many B's do we have? 1, 2, 3 B's as well. So we'd write it out like that. Okay, let's do a couple of questions from each of the questions in your booklet, and I'll show you how you need to write them out. So the first question says write the following in expanded form. So you're just going to take your base and multiply it by the amount of, the number in your indice. So it'd be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, the second question says write in index form. So you're going to take your base, write it down, and then write how many times it's been multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to put a little 6 at the top. Okay, the next one is then in algebra. So write each of the following in expanded form. So this one's the same as the example we had above. So it'd be A times A times A times A because we have 4 of them. Okay, going down, let's do a harder one. If we look at I, it says minus 3s to the power of 3t squared. So let's go minus 3, there's nothing on that, so we'll just leave it like that. Then we have s to the power of 3, so we've got 3 s's. And then we have t to the power of 2, so we've got 2 t's as well. Okay, this next one, you're writing these in index notation. Now, some of them have numbers and algebra. So let's look at I. We've got 5 as a base, so we're going to write our 5. And how many? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then we have x as a base, and we have 2 of those.